What's up guys, today's a pretty special day. Why? Because Project Cars 2 went on sale at 9 o'clock this morning. We decided we couldn't wait, we had to grab it, have a play and show you guys what we thought. Now we had a quick go on it at the launch a couple of days ago, but obviously getting a chance to play the full game on our own simulator helps us make a better decision. Now if you're looking for an avid gamer's review, this is not the place. We don't do online gaming leagues or that sort of stuff. We just play it to keep sharp between going to the track and just have a little bit of fun every now and then, just, you know, as car enthusiasts. So realistically, our review is from a car enthusiast perspective rather than a gamer's perspective. So let's get into it. So we're into the main menu, but one of the problems is when you buy the game, there's an update you have to do straight away that's 13 gigs. So how good your internet is determines how long you have to wait to get online. Now we're gonna save career mode and online mode for a review in a couple of weeks once we've had the chance to live with the game. So if you need more convincing, just wait a couple of weeks. For now, we're just gonna look at the initial gameplay, menus, interaction, what cars it's got, and a little bit of playing, etc. So straight away jumping in, obviously got a career mode, which we can't set up yet. Custom race, private testing, just like before. You can join races around the world, you can do an online event, create one, community events, time trials, similar sort of stuff to last time. Check your favorite cars and tracks, just some stats, images and videos you've taken. This is very important, gameplay and controls. What we found with Project Cars 1 is if you didn't spend time setting up the steering wheel to how it felt right to you, it could actually feel terrible compared to feeling really good. We've spent about 20 minutes this morning before we filmed this just mucking around with the controls and gameplay to kind of get it to feel how we think it feels right. It might be a little bit different for you, so very important to go in there. What do you need to do? Have a look at what steering assistance, braking assistance and things like that you want. What else do you need to look at? The main thing is with controls is just getting the steering wheel to feel right. So you've got to go in there, you've got to calibrate the wheel, calibrate the pedals, change the configuration to what you want it to be. We've got our setup that's probably 95% where we want it. That took about 20 minutes, so there'll be more fine tuning later. But let's get into what most people want to see. Let's go to private testing and take a look at some of the cars and tracks. So the biggest news is Gt3 cars. For me, they were a bit lacking in the last game. So looking at the cars now, NSX is a big one that's been added. Ferrari's the big one, F40 LM and LaFerrari are in there, so that's pretty sick. Ford's back, they've added the new GT. V8 supercars there again, that's killer. Honda has an Indy car, that's pretty cool. Lamborghini's here, so you get Aventador and Horicon road cars, Horicon Super Trofeo, the Red Bull. McLaren's back, they've added the 720S, which is the big draw card car. Evos are back, but how's this? A time attack car is in here. That is sick. So the SVA Lancer time attack car from the UK is in the game, so that's pretty killer. We're gonna have a drive of that. Most important thing is Nissan's here. They've got GTRs, they've got some old school 300ZXs from America. What else is here that's new? Porsche, big one. Yes, Porsche Gt3 RS, that's a good addition. 918 Spiders in there. So as you can see, it's a pretty extensive list of cars straight out of the box, 180 plus. I'm sure there'll be another 20 cars available pretty quickly. And just like Project Cars 1, more cars will get added later. So overall, pretty happy with what cars are here. But all right, so we've looked at the cars. We're gonna drive a Horicon Gt3 first. Let's take a look at the tracks. A lot of tracks here. I think they said there was 60 plus combinations, and then when you add weather and things like that, there's a lot more to do. So a few new tracks have been added. Long Beach is in there. Linden Hill GP, Mercedes-Benz Driving Events Ice Track of all things. Now our initial go at it at the launch showed that the sound effects were unreal. So if you're gonna play it on a sim, I suggest you have a sound bar or really good headphones, because having the sound is, to me, very important in a sim and obviously in a real car as well. So let's see what it's like. All right, before we drive, let's take a look at the tuning setup. Something they've done this time is you can edit your own tuning setup, but it's a lot more advanced than it used to be. As you can see here, it's pretty full on what you can do. Actually, it's very full on what you can do. But if you're not an engineer yourself, you can actually click on Race Engineer, and then you can actually go in and basically say, you know, what's happening? I'm not stopping in time, I keep sliding. Essentially, if you're a cold trickle and want to talk to someone about how to make your car better, this is awesome. So it just does minor changes. You got the front bar view, cockpit view, helmet view, bonnet view, behind view, which I just can't do, even though it lets you perv on the car a little bit. The sound is epic. And that's probably one of the best things about the game, actually. Brakes in this are a little bit twitchier than the first game and sort of harder to get right, but I guess that means it takes more skill, so better for a simulator. Let's try a Ferrari. Yeah. So Project Cars 2 obviously listened, manufacturers listened. We've got Ferrari, Lambo, Porsche, Nissan. For me, they were the biggest ones missing, and they've made sure they've given us some good stuff, so let's go.
Okay, the tyres and brakes are going to be cold on this outlap, so take it easy and build up your...
It's just something so satisfying, even in a video game, about driving a car with a manual and a clutch. Now, one thing I love about the old school cars is that if you don't use the clutch correctly, both on upshifts and downshifts, it'll either miss gears or it'll actually compression lock the engine and make the engine turn off, or it'll lock up the rear wheels and spin you out. So driving the old school cars is actually really cool. This Ferrari F40 LM is mental. So it obviously has a dog box, but you still have to lift the throttle slightly to get it to change gears. You can actually miss gears, and if you don't heel and toe on the down changes, you can lock up the rear wheels or even stall the engine. So you have to drive them properly, which is mental. Check it out. It's got all the aero, wing, the rear radiator, everything of that SVA Evo. Have a look. That is sick. The Evo, rather authentic. You can hear the blow-off valve. It's a little bit laggy, and then it comes on, and yeah, it drives like a modified Time Attack Evo, that's for sure. You can actually feel the downforce in this car as you get quicker and quicker, so it's good. I think we should drive an R34 GTR. Everyone wants to know what it's going to be like. All right, while we're warming up the tyres, have a look at this. Haltech signage along the walls at Bathurst. That is sick. I know there's Monster and everything else in there, but having an Australian ECU brand on the wall is that's killer. Good work, buddies at Haltech. I noticed braking in this car is a lot easier to modulate than the race cars. I also noticed in the graphics, the car moves around a little bit more realistically as you hit bumps and things like that. And also noticed that the elevation change is a little bit more obvious in Project Cars 2 than it was in number 1. All right, one of the best cars to drive in real life, Porsche 911 Gt3. What's it like in the game? That is the big question now. Listen to the sound though. How good is the sound though? These things are known for it as they rev to 9 grand, so it's pretty epic that they replicate it. There's something about driving old school turbo race cars with a H-pattern gearbox and a clutch in this game that's, I don't know, satisfying, I guess. They're actually a bit of a workout to drive. They're pretty ruthless. So let's see what the old Lotus is like compared to the first game. Here we go.
Careful on this outlet. You won't have much traction until you get the tyres warm.
All right, being Australian, we have to drive a V8 supercar at Bathurst. I loved driving this thing in Project Cars number 1. Had a great time driving this at the launch party a couple of nights ago. Came third. So let's see what it's like on our gaming sim, shall we? Yeah, Bathurst, let's do it.
Warm this thing up, let's see what you can do.
Well, straight away, the sound of the V8 supercar is just as sick as it was in the last game, maybe slightly better. Can do victory burnouts. So the McLaren 720S latest car is a hero car of the game. So I'm pretty keen to see what it's like. The blow-off valves are pretty rad. All right, we've only had the game for a couple of hours now, but our first impression is that it is definitely better than Project Cars number 1. If you love the first game, you're gonna love this even more. We've played Assetto Corsa, and we've played, most of the rally games and grid and all that sort of stuff. And for us, Project Cars is still our favorite simulator. Our advice is though, if you don't have a simulator, get one to go with it, because on a hand controller, it's just no point. I mean, it's a simulator, so you've got to do it properly. Graphics are better, but I do find that the graphics are almost too good in some of the city or street events. You can actually get a little bit almost lost in the graphics when you're trying to see where you're going. But then again, that's added realism. The actual driving style of the cars is better. You've got better feel for rear end and front end grip, as well as traction. So the driving dynamics are improved. What's it like to drift? Well, haven't really kind of got into that yet. We'll let you know later. The sound of the cars is epic, and probably one of the most important things is the amount of cars that you get in the game now compared to number 1 is huge. All the brands you want are now there. Ferrari, Lamborghini, Porsche, Nissan, which is what I wanted. We've got it. In terms of just a quick go at it and only doing private testing, it's epic. We've still got career mode, online mode, custom race modes to explore. There's heaps to look at over the next couple of weeks, because we don't just want to give you feedback on one day, we want to give you feedback on having it for a couple of weeks. So, but based on our initial feedback, if you love the first one, get the second one. If you think that you want to try simulators, try it. You can set it up to get how you like it, and the sound in the cars is epic. So for us, gets a big thumbs up, recommended to buy already, and we're only about 1% through it.